Welcome to All That Matters, a show about what's really worth your attention in the markets and economy today. Join hosts Michael Antonelli and Ross Mayfield as they tackle the latest headlines and answer real questions from clients.
Welcome to All That Matters with Mike and Ross. Mike, we are sitting here on a Monday morning recording a video because over the weekend, the U.S. Did some military strikes in Iran, leading to a broader conflict in the Middle East. So this is obviously roiled markets over the weekend. Things are evolving very quickly, but I wanted to hop on, just get a couple thoughts from you and also make sure that we link our video that we did a couple years ago, talking about what war means for the stock market historically, when the Israel-Hamas war began in, I think, October of 2023. So we'll link that. We have good takes that we think are pretty much hold. A lot of it is the same idea, war in the Middle East. How does it impact the U.S.? But this is different. It feels different. Everyone is a little bit idiosyncratic. So what is your big takeaway, either from this event, from that video, or kind of the whole thing together?
Yeah. And for everybody watching, Ross and I did a video in 2023 when the Israel-Hamas conflict kicked off. And we gave 12 minutes worth of takes about focus on your plan. Stock market over the medium to long term generally doesn't get impacted by stuff like this. And if you listen to us, the stock market's up 65% since then, 65. Since the Israel-Hamas conflict and in our video talking about what you need to focus on. Now we have another conflict brewing in the Middle East. This one actually involves the U.S. But what I want to do is I want to put on screen a chart from First Trust, which I think is really good. We'll put it on the screen here for 5 or 6 seconds. It just shows all the various conflicts throughout history and the relentless march of the stock market. The main takeaway from that chart is that the world is always full of conflict, always. It doesn't matter where it is in the world. What you need to focus on are why is the stock market move? And in fact, I wrote a blog in January of this year, what moves the U.S. stock market when we did the Venezuela Maduro incident. So what I want you to focus on going forward is that the U.S. economy is different now than it was in the past. All those past wars that you saw. The stock market used to hate wars in the Middle East or conflict in the Middle East because it spiked the price of oil. And oil prices spiking was bad for inflation, was bad for consumers. The market hated that. Now the U.S. is the number one producer of oil in the world. So these Middle East conflicts don't have the same kind of impact that it used to have in the past. And then number two, you have to remember we are a consumer-based economy and the largest in the world, which means housing and consumer spending and traveling and all these things, and interest rates are what matters more than a strike in the Middle East. Now, I'm not saying that the strike in the Middle East doesn't have historical and cultural impact, but when it comes to the stock market, you have to remember what actually moves it are earnings and interest rates and things that affect us. Oil, this morning, oil's spiked, but now it's starting to fall again. It just doesn't have the same shock as it used to. So we want you to remember and watch our previous content and learn the important lesson here, Ross, which is conflicts abroad will always be a part of this investing journey. But over any medium to long term, conflicts have been resolved and the stock market moves on.
Yeah, 100%. That pretty much sums it up. We will link our video. I want to link Mike's blog because it was a really great way to start the year. And basically every take you had there applies to this situation and the next 50 geopolitical situations for the rest of our career as well. Does it impact the consumer? Does it impact corporate earnings? And we go from there. If the answer is yes, we'll do more analysis. But check out our content. As things evolve, obviously this is very fast moving, so we'll be back with you. But Mike, thanks for hopping on. Hope everybody has a great rest of your March.
See everybody.
Thanks for watching All That Matters. Opinions expressed in this episode belong solely to Mike and Ross and do not necessarily represent the opinions of Baird. This program is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for any investment decisions.